Evangelism can be a touchy subject for a lot of Christians. It's so complicated, perhaps, that a lot of people just don't want to witness. And this seems to carry over into a lot of churches on the church level, that they're just very lax on evangelistic outreach. There's also problems defining what is evangelistic outreach. I encountered one situation where a local church, talking with a couple of members, they told me that they were involved in evangelistic outreach, and they had people going out doing this and doing that and doing the other, ministering to people in need. And I was very impressed at first and asked, well, even though it's not always a good thing to be keeping score, the reality is, if it's evangelistic outreach, then surely you've had some souls saved in connection with your evangelism program. How many souls do you estimate have been led to Christ over the last, let's say, year? And the answer was 0, that it had not happened. So see, they were going through the motions, but nothing was really happening. Sometimes this happens, I think, because of the fact that we make soul winning so complicated. Keep it really simple. Share with a person that God has put you in contact with. Just ask them or explain to them that there may come a time in their lives when they think about God and they get the impression that God is pressuring them to make some kind of changes, that God is on their back somehow. And if they find themselves ever in that position, it probably is God, because God is the one that initiates true conversion. It doesn't come from, not that you would share this with your prospect, it doesn't come from you or me, but instead it really comes directly from God. Jesus saves souls. God initiates the conversion process. And so you just explain to them that if they ever find themselves in that situation that can be remotely described as God applying pressure on them, and they feel like they understand that they have failed God in their lifetime up to this point in time and they don't feel good about it, then simply share with them that if they feel that way, it's undoubtedly God approaching them, God reaching out to them, and what He wants from them is just a sincere expression of, Lord, I'm sorry, I apologize for that, and remember, a true apology also includes this next step too. I'll do my best to never do those things again. And you explain to your prospect, this is all that God is looking for up to that point. For you to apologize, share your sincere intention to live better from there on out. But then, of course, they have to be saved. So the next step, and they can all conglomerate together quite often. And then the final step is to trust in Jesus for their salvation. That's what it's all about. Don't pressure your prospect for an immediate decision. God convicts, not you. When you pressure your prospect for a conviction, what so often happens, whether it's you one-on-one at a fast food joint, or if it's the pastor during the 11 o'clock service, when you pressure someone, they quite often make a decision based on the pressure, but it's not really sincere. So you walk away from that situation thinking, ooh, what amazing, so amazing, that's great that God saved another soul, and the person who you thought was saved really wasn't saved, but they went through the motions. I mean, maybe they even uttered the words, and they go through life thinking they're saved, and they're not. And when they die, they find themselves in hell. So go low key, explain the basics to them. Apologize to God when it's appropriate, when you feel that God is working on you to change your lifestyle and you feel as though you can sincerely admit it and apologize and share with Him that from here on out, you're going to do your best to live a better life that's honoring to God and trust in Jesus Christ, then that person will genuinely be saved. Remember that you can never save any person's soul. God does it from beginning to end. He instructs you and I to be tools and to do our part in it. This is an essential part of the plan of salvation, is the involvement from you and I, but pressuring them, terrible mistake. Terrible mistake. Counteract false forces. Witness in a simplified manner. Remember that God is the driving force in true soul-saving conviction. Avoid the pressure on your prospect to make an immediate decision. Doesn't hurt to ask. Don't pressure. God's way works. Your way doesn't, if it includes pressuring that convert to make a decision now. God is in control. Let him handle the whole thing from beginning to end. And if we all do that, we can rejoice forevermore in more souls being saved. Hallelujah.